My name is Helena Cross, and I'm 32 years old. I've spent most of my life playing the quiet one, archivist by day, invisible daughter by default, the kind of person who gets left out of family photos because no one remembers to call her in. My sister, Lydia, is the opposite. Loud, commanding, magnetic. The golden child. Even my father listens when she speaks. I always thought being invisible was my shield, my safety. But it turns out, invisibility makes you the perfect target. Last week, they boarded a flight to Dubai with every cent I've saved over the past 10 years, and left behind a note like I was someone they once knew. They thought I wouldn't follow. The first thing I noticed was the silence. No low jazz from the Bluetooth speaker. No coffee brewing. No sound of heels clacking down the hallway. Lydia's signature arrival. Just stillness. I dropped my tote on the counter and flicked on the kitchen light. There, lying on the marble island, was a torn piece of notepad paper. The handwriting stopped my breath. Lydia's loopy cursive. Don't wait up. Flying out with Dad. Don't call. Roaming's expensive. Elle. I stood still for a full 10 seconds, letting those words bite. Then I ran. Bedroom. Closet. Rug pulled back. Keypad. Fingers trembling. 6-9-8-1. Our mother's birthday. Lydia always said he never changed it. Beep. Beep. Click. The safe opened. And there was nothing inside. I dropped to my knees, reached in, ran my fingers along the cold steel bottom. No envelope. No bonds. No red folder with my crypto access sheet. 7 years. Everything gone. A scream built in my chest, but I swallowed it whole. Instead, I scanned the room like I was the intruder. The window latch was untouched. The floor spotless. Everything exactly how I'd left it. Except for the safe. Except for the note. I crawled toward the trash bin. That's when I saw it, tucked between a coffee pod and a protein bar wrapper. A piece of a boarding pass. Emirates. First class. Dubai International. The timestamp? 2 hours ago. I grabbed my laptop. Opened my banking dashboard. Password. Facial recognition. Loading. Error. Access denied. Account frozen. I hit refresh. Again. Again. Still frozen. My savings. The emergency fund. My inheritance. Lydia didn't just take my cash. She wiped me out. And she used my father to do it. At 6:32 p.m., I left the apartment with one thing in my hand. A flash drive I hadn't touched in months. Inside, backup documents. Titles. Banking statements. Crypto codes. I stepped into the cold wind of Los Angeles December and hailed a rideshare. My voice barely cracked when I gave the destination. Wilshire and Forth, library drop point. It wasn't the actual library, just what I called the cafe across from my second job. A place with strong Wi-Fi and no questions. The driver didn't speak. Neither did I. The world outside the window blurred. You think betrayal comes with fireworks, a slammed door, a shouted name, maybe even tears. But sometimes it's just silence, stillness, a line of code changed, a name removed from an account. No screaming, just disappearing. I opened the cafe door. The bell overhead jingled. The barista didn't look up. Good. I slid into the booth in the back, plugged in the drive. My fingers moved fast. Too fast. I typed the way panic types without breaks. Logged into Lydia's old shared folder. Cloud account from college days. She never changed the recovery email. Still routed through her art thesis from 2010. The folder opened. PDFs. Invoices. Wire transfers. Crypto exchange screenshots. I blinked. Zoomed in. One invoice stood out. Cross Holdings LLC. Payment to AL Zaim Freight, UAE. My stomach turned. A freight company. Not a hotel. Not a tour group. A front. Someone had taken my money out of the country through commercial channels. They didn't just rob me. They laundered me. My phone buzzed. No caller ID. I didn't pick up. It buzzed again. This time a text popped through. You're not the only one watching, little sister. My blood froze. The cafe light above me flickered. Once. Twice. Then died. I was no longer alone in this. They think I'm the quiet one. They forgot I know how to disappear too. The cafe light stayed dead. I unplugged the flash drive, shoved it in my bra, and left my half-full coffee behind. Outside, the street buzzed with the kind of quiet that comes before sirens. A man leaned against a lamppost, smoking. He didn't look at me. That made it worse. I kept walking. Cut scene. Apartment. Door locked. Blinds drawn. I moved like I was being watched, because I probably was. That text hadn't been a bluff. It was a warning. You're not the only one watching. They were tracking me. Somewhere. Somehow. I switched off Wi-Fi. Removed the SIM card. Powered down. Paranoia wasn't a disorder. It was a survival mechanism. I opened my laptop again. Hardline only. No cloud. I backtracked the invoices. Alzame freight. 2 large payments. One labeled art transfer. The other, logistics fee, expedited. Art my ass. Cross Holdings LLC had never existed until 5 days ago. Registered to a business address in Glendale. I looked it up on Street View, an abandoned strip mall. Fake company. Fake invoice. Real money. I needed someone smarter than me. I opened Signal. New message thread. Marisol Vega. She hadn't heard from me in 2 years. But we'd lived through hell together once. That kind of bond doesn't vanish. I typed. I need your eyes. Urgent. Fraud level. Not joking. 3 dots. Pause. Then. Come to Boyle Heights. Don't be followed. Cut to. Industrial lot behind an old boxing gym. Marisol's world. She stood in the shadows like she belonged to them. Hoodie. Braids tucked. Laptop already running. You look like shit, she said. Thanks. Someone emptied my life. She took my flash drive. Plugged it in. Eyes narrowed. You tracked these files already? Some. Not all. There's something buried deeper. She tapped fast. Windows opened. Code ran. These aren't just transfers. They're spoofed. Hidden routing. Offshore shuffling. How deep? She stopped typing. Crypto pool in Dubai. Masked through 6 wallets. This isn't just your sister stealing from you. This is international. A punch to the gut. And it gets better, she added, twisting the laptop toward me. On screen, smart lock log. Lydia's phone had synced to our apartment lock at 2:14 a.m. the night before they left. She accessed the safe digitally. Used your dad's Face ID override. That means... They were planning this for weeks, I finished. No, Marisol said. More like months. Another folder opened. PDFs, scans of old documents. My signature. Forged. Lydia had filed a power of attorney transfer with a notary in Koreatown. Dated 6 weeks ago. It gave her access to my accounts in case of medical instability. My stomach nodded. I never signed this. Marisol leaned back. They built a paper trail. So if you went to the cops, I'd look unhinged. Exactly. Paranoid sister. Nervous breakdown. It's textbook. Classic predator playbook. I wanted to scream. Instead, I stared at the screen, cold rage bubbling under my skin. This isn't about money anymore, I said. Marisol looked at me. Then what is it? Erasure. Silence. She reached into her coat, pulled out a burner phone, slid it to me. Use this. Ditch everything else. If they're laundering through Dubai, you need someone over there. I have a name, he said. Jackson Monroe. Ex-cybercrime unit. Now security consultant. We crossed once, years ago. Call him. Now. I dialed. The line clicked. Then static. A voice. Helena. I was wondering when you'd call. Cutscene. Jackson's voice was colder than I remembered. You're in deeper than you know. Did you see the Cross Holdings trail? Saw it. And what's behind it? And... Pause. It's not just Lydia. She's not smart enough to run this alone. I clenched the phone tighter. Then who? The name you're looking for is Simon Vale. The name sat like a blade in my mouth. Never heard of him. You will. The line cut. I stared at the blank screen. A dull thud echoed from the hallway. I turned, listened. Footsteps. 1, 2, 3. Silence. I walked to the door, looked through the peephole. Empty. But on the floor, a package, wrapped in brown paper. No address. No return. I picked it up with shaking hands. Opened it slowly. Inside on velvet was my childhood bracelet. Twisted. Broken. The engraved plate bent backward. On the inside, stay home. I dropped it like a burned. Whoever sent that knew my address. Knew my past. Knew I was getting close. If they planned this far ahead, what else don't I know? I didn't sleep. Every sound in the building became suspect. Pipes groaned like whispers. Someone coughed 2 doors down. Too close. I sat on the floor beside my front door, knees to chest, burner phone in hand. Eyes locked on the bracelet Lydia had returned like a calling card. She'd always known how to press exactly where it hurt. By dawn I had my flight. One way. No checked bags. No return. Dubai. If they were hiding there, I'd drag them into the light myself. Cowards leave shadows. But monsters? Monsters stay visible and dare you to name them. Cutscene. Lax. Terminal B, 9:42 a.m. I wore a hoodie. No makeup. Disposable sunglasses. My name on the boarding pass wasn't Helena Cross. It was Aaron Doyle, courtesy of Marisol's old contacts. The line moved fast. My heart didn't. Every TSA beep made me flinch. A man behind me cleared his throat. You okay? I lied. Yeah, just jet lag from the future. He chuckled. I didn't. At the gate I double-checked the news. Nothing. No arrest. No scandal. Lydia and my father were still ghosts. For now. I boarded. Window seat. Row 14. Head down. Breath short. 13 hours of silence followed, pierced only by engine hum and my own spiraling thoughts. Why Dad? Why now? Why me? People think blood means loyalty. It doesn't. Blood stains easier than ink, and it's harder to wash off. Cutscene. Dubai International Airport. 8:07 a.m. local time. Humidity wrapped around me like accusation. I crossed customs with a forged smile, pulled my rolling bag behind me, and merged into the tide of tourists. Then I saw him, leaning against the currency exchange wall, arms crossed, unreadable. Jackson Monroe. He hadn't aged, just sharpened, like someone who'd stopped pretending to be harmless. You're late, he said. It's not even 8 a.m. Late is a mindset. We didn't hug. He led me out without explaining how he knew where I'd land. Still have friends at Homeland? I asked. Something like that. We reached his car. Black SUV. Tinted. Untraceable plates. Inside, he handed me a folder. I opened it. Photos. Lydia. Dad. First class. Boarding gate. Smiles. They didn't book a hotel, he said. What? No hotel, no Airbnb. But someone in their name rented warehouse space in the industrial zone. Warehouse. Front company. Cross Logistics LLC. Opened 3 days before their flight. Classic smokescreen. I stared at the photo. Dad looked hollow. Present, but not there. His eyes didn't match his smile. You think he's in on it? Jackson shrugged. I think she brought him for cover. And maybe to sign things. Sign what? Documents. Bank withdrawals. Paper authority. Sometimes they don't just steal your money. They steal your face. Cut scene. Industrial zone, 1:12 p.m. We parked outside a beige complex with barbed wire. A lone security camera blinked above the gate. Jackson handed me binoculars. Warehouse 4B had movement. A man rolled a crate inside. On the crate, a shipping label with my father's name. I blinked. Wait, that's... Yep, Jackson said. Whatever they're doing, they didn't hide it well. We moved fast. He picked the side lock. Inside, the air was thick with dust and silence. Fluorescent lights flickered overhead. The first room was empty. The second had boxes. The third held a freight container, unsealed. We approached. Inside, office supplies, pillows, luggage, a folded cane. My father's cane. No, I whispered. I stepped back into someone. Hands grabbed me. Jackson shouted. A scuffle. Footsteps. Metal clanged. I twisted free. Ran. Turned a corner. A door slammed shut behind me. Darkness. My breathing turned ragged. I touched walls, reached blindly. Then saw him. In the far corner. Collapsed. Duct tape on wrists. My father. His eyes fluttered. Dad. He stirred. Tried to speak. Failed. I peeled the tape off. He coughed, groaned. Lydia, he rasped. I know she did this. No, he said. He looked at me, really looked. She's not alone. You have to run. Who's helping her? He opened his mouth. Then nothing. His body spasmed. Convulsed. Jackson! I screamed. No answer. I knelt beside him, heart pounding. And then I heard it. A sharp click. Red lights flooded the hallway. The warehouse was locking down. Automated. Security had been triggered. We were trapped. She didn't just steal my money. She sold her soul and mine to get it. The red lights blinked faster. I slammed my fists against a steel door, but it didn't budge. Jackson was nowhere in sight. My father lay limp in the corner, breathing shallow. He wasn't dead. Not yet. Get up, I whispered, yanking his arm. Come on, Dad, you're not leaving me too. A low groan. His eyelids fluttered. He was in and out like a dying radio signal. Cut scene. My burner phone buzzed. No service, but a notification slid across the screen. Not a call. Not a text. Live feed activated. What? I tapped the alert. My screen lit up with grainy warehouse footage. Multiple camera angles. Room by room. And there she was. Lydia. In a crimson blazer. Hair twisted into a tight knot. Standing before a table stacked with legal files. Notarized forms. Thumb drives. She looked up at the camera. No, at me. Hello, little sister. My blood iced. I wasn't just watching her. She was watching me back. You always wanted to be invisible, Helena. So I made sure you were. No records. No trail. You're a ghost now. I watched her lips move. No sound. The footage glitched, then switched to another angle. Me. In the room. Hunched over my father. Filmed from above. They had live surveillance inside the container. How? I looked around. Found it. A vent cover in the ceiling with a black circle behind it. Dini camera. Hidden. Streaming. They'd been watching the whole time. Who's helping you? I muttered under my breath. Dad stirred. His fingers twitched, brushing my arm. Helena. I'm here. He coughed, winced, whispered something hoarse and broken. Don't trust Jackson. What? But his head slumped again. Don't trust Jackson? No, that made no sense. He brought me here. He saved me. Or had he? The bracelet, the synced lock, the warehouse already rented. Too many things timed too well. Trust is a funny thing. We hand it out like candy until someone chokes on it. Cut scene. I tore the camera down. Sparks popped. The screen cut to black. No more surveillance. A speaker crackled above. Lydia's voice, smooth and venomous. Temper, temper. You always were the dramatic one. Let us out. I shouted. Sure, she said. All you have to do is sign. A beep echoed. A panel in the wall slid open. Inside a tablet. Stylus. A blinking document. Asset transfer authorization. It had my name already filled in. They wanted me to give up the rest. Retroactively validate the theft. Backdate the crime. Erase any chance of prosecution. Sign it and I'll send help. Refuse and he dies. I stared at the tablet. My father wheezed beside me. I could sign and save him, or refuse and lose everything. There's always a moment in every horror where you stop being the victim and become the weapon. I didn't sign. Instead, I smashed the tablet against the floor. Static buzzed. Lydia didn't scream. She didn't even curse. She just said, then it's war. Cut scene. Footsteps outside. Heavy. 2 people. I dragged my father behind a crate. Grabbed a rusted metal bar from the floor. Held my breath. The door opened. Jackson stepped in. Alone. He looked around. Met my eyes. Raised his hands. No tricks, he said. You said she wasn't smart enough to pull this off. Turns out she doesn't have to be. I can explain. I held the bar tighter. Try fast. I didn't know she'd take it this far. You lied. I was embedded, trying to trace Simon Vale. She made contact with him. She was supposed to lead me to his network, not build her own. And you just forgot to mention that. He stepped closer. The FBI wouldn't move without proof. I needed her to move the money, Helena. I needed her to commit. And I was your bait. A pause. Yes. He didn't even flinch when he said it. I swung. Not at him, at the wall behind him. The sound echoed like a gunshot. My father groaned again, barely conscious. You want her? I said, then get us out. And when this ends, you tell the Bureau, I'm not just bait, I'm a damn witness. Jackson didn't argue. He just said, follow me. We moved fast, down a corridor, past locked crates, through a back door wired to a silent alarm. Alley. Heat. Smell of diesel. Freedom. We ran. And someone was already waiting at the car. Not Lydia. Simone Valley. Tansut. No Ismail. A gun in his hand. You brought the wrong girl, he told Jackson. And fired. The bullet didn't hit me. It hit the car door behind us. Metal shrieked, glass shattered, and the air filled with the smell of burnt rubber. Jackson slammed into me, pushing both of us behind a concrete pillar as another round split the air. Simon Vale stepped closer, completely calm, like a man ordering coffee. Bring her out, he called. I only need one sister, the useful one. My skin crawled. He meant Lydia. Jackson mouthed, run. I didn't argue. Cut scene. We sprinted behind a row of delivery trucks, ducking low. Simon fired again. Sparks exploded off the metal. My breath burned. My father's warnings replayed in my head. Don't trust Jackson. But right now, I had no one else. We reached the back fence. Jackson boosted me up. I scraped my palms, landed hard, rolled. Then he followed, hitting the ground beside me with a grunt. What now? I gasped. We find where she's keeping the rest of your money, he said. And where she's keeping him. Dad. Jackson didn't look at me. Cut scene. We drove through Dubai at dusk, weaving through traffic as the sky turned gold. The city glittered. Glass towers hiding darker things. Jackson tossed me a water bottle. You're bleeding, he said. I wiped my forehead. Just a cut. No. The betrayal. I shot him a glare. He went quiet. People like Lydia don't just wake up evil. They feed it, and someone usually hands them the spoon. I didn't want philosophy. I wanted answers. Where are we going? I asked. He slid a keycard across the console. A real estate showroom. Vale's front. Money goes in as art-backed assets. Comes out clean. Art-backed. You'd be surprised how many crimes are wrapped in canvas. Cut scene. The showroom looked like a gallery. White walls, soft lights, abstract pieces that made no sense. Wealth disguised as creativity. Jackson bypassed the alarm. We entered. Cold air. Silence. A faint lemon scent masking something metallic underneath. The first room held empty frames. The second room held servers, tall, humming, blinking. The third held something worse. A vault door. Digital. Fingerprint-based. Brand new. Vale's laundering hub, Jackson whispered. He connected a portable decryptor to the panel. The screen flashed. Access granted. That was too easy. He froze. Someone already opened it today. We stepped inside. The vault didn't store gold, artwork, or cash. It stored lives. Folders. Thumb drives. Data stacks. Identities. Mine included. I saw my name on a red-labeled file. Not Helena Cross. Erased. Edited. Reassigned. My chest tightened. She was wiping me out on paper too. That's how you disappear someone, Jackson said. Not by killing them. By rewriting them. In the corner of the vault sat a metal box. A single flash drive inside. I picked it up. Labeled LX Prime. What's this? Her confession, a voice answered. I turned. A screen lit up automatically, triggered by motion. Lydia's face filled it. Hair immaculate. Eyes bright. Confident. Like she was starring in her own documentary. She smiled. If you're watching this, I either won or Helena ruined everything. But at least now you'll know why. My breath hitched. Growing up in your shadow was exhausting, she continued. Everyone thought you were the fragile one, the quiet one, the sweet one. But quiet people collect things. They collect trust. They collect pity. They collect leverage. I learned something early. Attention is power. And you never had any. She leaned closer to the camera. So I took yours. The video glitch stuttered. Lydia wasn't done. There's someone you should meet. Someone who believed in me before anyone else. She said his name like a prayer. Cyrus Valley. My stomach flipped. He taught me everything. How to move money. How to rename assets. How to fix a signature so perfectly even the FBI wouldn't know the difference. How to make someone disappear on paper before they disappear in real life. Jackson's jaw locked. She fell in love with the devil. No, y whisperat. She became him. Cutscene. Sirens wailed in the distance. Not police. Fire alarms. Jackson and I exchanged looks. They know we're here, he said. The showroom lights cut off. Emergency lights flicked on, blood red. The vault door began to close automatically. I shoved the flash drive into my pocket and sprinted. Jackson grabbed the hard drives, anything he could carry. A gas hiss echoed. My lungs tightened. Go, he shouted. We pushed out of the vault just as the door slammed shut behind us. More alarms. More flashing lights. Then, a voice behind us. Slow clap. Elegant. Mocking. Well done, baby sister. Lydia stepped into the stuttering red light like she owned the world. Perfect hair. Perfect suit. A predator wrapped in silk. You really should have stayed home, she purred. I gave you every chance. You drugged Dad, I shot back. She smirked. He didn't listen. Just like you. Her gaze softened, not in kindness but nostalgia. You know all I ever wanted was to matter. You stole my life. No, she whispered. I took my own back. She nodded toward the exit. And then, everything exploded into motion. Men rushed in from the hallway, Vale's men. Armed. Jackson shoved me behind a marble column as gunfire erupted, shredding the gallery walls. "Move," he yelled. We bolted through the smoke and chaos, ducking, dodging, sprinting down a stairwell lit by flickering bulbs. Lydia's voice echoed after us, bright and cold. "You can't outrun this, Helena. I built the world you're standing in." We burst into an alley. Jackson grabbed my arm. "We're not done yet," he said. "Not even close." I looked back at the burning building, alarm screaming into the night. If she wants to burn me out of existence, fine. But I'm taking her empire down with me. Gunfire. Screaming. Sirens. I didn't think. I ran. Iron heels pounded marble. Smoke curled. Concrete. Dust floated like ash over a world burning alive. Jackson dragged me down a back corridor, clutching hard drives and a single flash drive, the one with the confession. We burst out into a storm of headlights. A black SUV idling. No plate. No driver in view. Doors swung open. We didn't hesitate. We dove inside. Tires roared. We peeled out of the alley, engines screaming against the chaos. Cutscene. Dubai night sky. Neon splashed over windows. I pressed the flash drive against my chest. My pulse was a jackhammer. My breath came in shards. "Where now?" I asked Jackson, voice low, steady but fragile. "Terminal 3. Gate 13. Whoever runs this needs one last escape route," he said. "We end it there." Everything erupted in motion. The city blurred. My vision narrowed. I saw the skyline, the lights, the hum of people I didn't know, but felt their eyes on me. We were ghosts. We were danger. Cutscene. Inside the terminal, the crowd moved slow. I stuck to shadows. Cameras blinked overhead. Everything wired watching. Every exit controlled. Every walkway trapped. Jackson led me to a narrow service door behind Gate 13. I hesitated. What if they locked it down? I whispered. "Then we go loud," he said. We slipped through. The room beyond smelled of stale air and machinery. Rows of monitors. Banks of servers. A control center for escape or exposure. Jackson worked fast, fingers flying over the keyboard. His eyes darted. Sweat glistened under fluorescent light. "Uploading now," he said. "Ready." I nodded. He hit enter. The footage started, glitching at first, then crystal clear. Lydia's face filled every screen. Live feed. Full confession. Her voice echoed across terminals. "If you're watching this," I took everything. I watched her lips move, but this time the world saw them. Travelers stopped in their tracks. Phones rose. Cameras flashed. Security doors clanged. Guards began to swarm. But she didn't run. She stood at the top of escalator 2, face pale, suit immaculate, hands raised. A hostage in each hand. A child in one. A man in the other. Kidnapping. Final card. I froze. Heart froze. "Don't move, sister," she said. "You're too late." Then everything slowed. The screens behind her still playing. Security lights behind me, red and white flashing. Panic in the terminals. Cries. Rustling. Confusion. That's when I saw him. My father. Walking behind the crowd. Calm. Tall. Hands folded. He stepped forward. Said something in Arabic. The guards froze. He raised his ID. A plain badge. He had never been just the victim. He was the bait. He was the lure. The hostage dropped to the floor. The man dropped the gun. Lydia's face went white. He turned to me. "Time's up, little sister." Cutscene. Lydia fell to her knees, crying, screaming, denials. But the cameras kept rolling. The confession still played. Lawyers' faces, flashing badges, they were all coming. I exhaled a single breath. Long, heavy. Outside the terminal, the night air hit like a cold wave. I let go of the flash drive. It floated to the ground. No fanfare. No trumpet. Just wind. Justice doesn't belong to the loud, I said, voice trembling with gravity. But it always finds the quiet. I walked away. Jackson watched me go, his eyes soft. You okay? He asked. I didn't nod. I didn't cry. I just kept walking. Because sometimes surviving doesn't mean winning a war. It means walking out of the ashes alive. And as I stepped into the darkness, I realized I wasn't that quiet girl anymore. I was the one who came back.